All right, let's take a minute now to look at the Maggie May song by Rod Stewart. This is my own arrangement to be played as a solo accompaniment piece. I'll play through it once and then I'll teach you how to do it. All right, now let's break it down. Starts off in the intro like a D major chord, but without the second fret on the high E. You're going to pluck the D string through the high E and then arpeggiate down on the B and G strings. And then you'll do the hammer-on second fret on the high E. Check it out. So I just did the strings, the D, G, B, and E strings. Then I arpeggiate down, and then the whole chord with the hammer-on second fret. Okay? Then D string open by itself, and then I'm barring the third fret on the B and E, and I'm doing a pull-off 5 to 3 on the B string, and I'm hitting the G, B, and E at the same time. So it goes D by itself, and then you do this pull-off. Okay? And then the second finger comes down here to the third fret, low E, and then I jump back up here, fifth fret on the B string, and then 3 to 5 on the E, and then 5 slides to 7. So it's. And then you have this other form of a D major chord here, which is open D, second fret G, third fret B, and fifth fret high E. And then you go from that chord to barring the third fret on just the B and high E string, and you hit the low E open. Okay, so that's the first 4 bars there. Let's review that again. So that first segment, then the D string open with the little pull-off, crossover down to the third fret, low E. Now fifth fret on the B, and then 3, 5, slide up to 7 on the high E. Then that D major chord like this with the A on top. And then the kind of G6 chord here, or a version of an E minor. And then you kind of come back to this D like we did in the beginning. Once again with the pull-off. And then the only difference here is you go from a B minor chord to a G major chord. So B minor, 4, 3, 2 on the G, B, and high E strings. You just do the staircase. And then down to a G major chord, which is on the D, G, and B strings, 5, 4, 3. And those are those 2 hits where you hear the snare drum. And then you take that shape and move it up a whole step to A major, but we're going to have our pinky down because now we have to incorporate the melody along with the chord. So the melody is just, you know, so we have the G major chord here, and we're going to pluck it slow. Okay, so I'll break that down a little bit more. So we do a kind of a pull-off 7 to 5 on the B string as I'm clamping the chord as itself. So I arpeggiate it down, B, G, or B, G, D, and then together at the same time. Then the B by itself, and then play it all together, but put the pinky back on the 7th fret. Now take that whole shape and move it down a whole step to a G, but you're going to have the pinky holding the 5th fret here on the B string. So that's. So you go 5 to 3 on the B, hold all the chord together, then pluck 5 to 3, and then you're going to hit the D and B string at the same time and throw the G in there in the middle. And then pinky comes back to the 5th fret on the B string. And then I come up here with my first finger and I'm barring the 7th fret on the D, G, and B string, and I'll kind of arpeggiate it. Pinky comes down on A, which is the 10th fret B string. And then I go to this inversion of a D major, which is 3rd finger, 9th fret, A string, and then you're barring the 7th fret on the D, G, and B strings. It's a first inversion D major chord because F sharp's in the bass. And then I go to root position D major right there. So from this D, where I have 3rd finger, 9th fret, A, and then 7th fret on the D, G, and B, I switch to the root position, which is just 1st finger, 5th fret on the A, and then 3rd finger bars the 7th fret on the D, G, and B strings. Okay, so let's look at that intro segment slow. Okay, now first finger comes down here on the B string, 3rd fret. Now drop this chord, so we have like the staircase, but we're doing the pinky on the 5th fret again. So you got, right, so it's late September, it's that line. So you have this 5 and 3 little melody. That's the melody, now we put in the chords behind it. Look at the tab in the screen here so you can see exactly when I'm plucking all the strings and when I'm just playing the melody note by itself. It should feel natural, so if it doesn't, you can adjust it a little bit to where the chords hit on the strong beats and just the melody can play through on the weak beats. Now I do a pull off 5 to 3, but maintaining that chord still. Now 5, 3, or 3, 5 on the B, reach back to 2nd fret on the high E. Now I'm going to get this, so it's kind of a way to play a D major chord. I have 2, 3, 5 on the G, B, and E strings, and also the D string open. Then I play it without the pinky. Now bar it with the 1st finger so you get that 2nd fret on the high E. Now the pull off. 3, 5, and then reach back to 2, and then these 2 D majors. Now, first finger, 2nd fret G. Then you play this little dyad here, 5 on the D and 4 on the G. And then you kind of complete the staircase there. It's just we're working the melody and the chords together. So we got A, then the little dyad. Reach back 3 on the B, and now here I'm getting this shape. I have 1st fret, 1st finger, high E, and 2nd fret, 2nd finger, G, and you're going to hit them together, but then you're going to play the open E string. Okay? Pinky comes down, 3rd fret B, and then 3rd finger reaches back here to the 2nd fret on the high E to complete the D chord. Now your fingers are in position to go 1st fret to 3rd fret on the high E. Now slide up here, second finger, 4th fret G, 3rd fret B, and 5th fret high E. You're gonna hit that chord. Then slide up to 7 on just the high E. Okay, here we got that 5, slide to 7, and then you have this nice G major 7 chord that you want to arpeggiate. That's pinky on the 10th fret A, and then 9 on D, and then 7 and 7 on the G and B string. And you just kind of arpeggiate it, A through B, and then fall back to G. And then this A major chord right here, which is open A, and then 7, 6, 5 on the D, G, and B strings. And then if you have the E string in there too, that's okay. Okay, so let's look at that part again. Now 5 to 7 on the B. It's like a little hammer on there. Now I drop down to an E minor chord, normal open position E minor, but I'm going to throw my third finger on the 2nd fret high E to get that 9 in there. And then so it's 2 2 0 on the high E, and then 3 3 0 on the B. And then an F sharp minor, and then B string to E string. So that's F sharp minor. Now E minor again, but with that third finger is going to sneak back here on the 2nd fret high E, and I'm going to slide from 2 to 5, back to 2. And then I do this little E minor harmonic. So harmonic on the 12th fret low E, and then G, B, and high E. So let's put that piece together. Okay, now we come here, 1st finger, 4th fret, G string, and we're going to kind of do this little box between 5 and 5, 5 on the B and 5 on the D. You have these fingers here, and you also have the pinky available to grab another note if you need to. So it's 4th fret, and then you got... Okay, so that's 4, and then grab the 5s together and pluck the 4 in the middle. Then 5, 7 on the B, and then we'll do a 1st inversion A major chord here with C sharp in the bass. Because the A is our melody note, so we need that to be the top. So we can't just do a normal A chord, we have to have it inverted. So now I do 2, slide to 5, back to 2, pull open on the high E. All right, so we got. And then again, inversion. Now A, so 2nd fret on the G, and then we come back up and it's similar, but just we have to alter it a little bit because of the lyric. So you got 5s together, 4, 5, 5, and then 7 on the B. Now I'm going to do the staircase, but I'm going to bar it this time on 7, 6, 5, and then bar it so you have the 5 on the high E as well. You arpeggiate, then you do a pull off 7 to 5 on the B, and then 7 on the B. Sorry, so it's 7 pull off 5 on the high E, and then 7 on the B, and then I kind of do a quick little tease of the solo. All right, let's look at that last little section here. So we're down here, 2nd fret on the G, then we do the little combo between the 5s on the D and B string, and kind of flirting with that 4 on the G. So it's different than the other ones before we were going, you know, that kind of segment, where here we got, and then 7 on the B. Now do the little staircase arpeggio on A major. Then you're going to go 7 pull off 5 on the high E, hit 7 on the B, and then I do the little to end it. So we're going the staircase, and then do the pull off 7 to 5, 7 on the B, and then 3rd finger comes down, slides into the 9th fret on the A, then 7 on the D, and then 7, do a little bend, down to 5 on the A, 7 on the low E, and then we end it on a D6 9 chord. So it's just a kind of a little way to tease the solo and end the song. So I'm going to play it really slow here and see if you can follow along with the tabs. Okay, here we go. right, so I hope that's clear. It's kind of hard to really see when I'm grabbing the chord and when I'm just playing the notes individually. Really, I think the best way to approach it is to learn the melody, to have that in your head real solid, and then see the chords behind it. It's really only like a D, G, A, E minor chord. There's a couple of chords in there. I'm just playing them in different versions around the neck. So when I'm going to look at making an arrangement of a particular piece, I'm going to look at what the melody is and then what the chord is, and then I make sure that the melody note is the top note in the chord. So for instance, in the beginning of the song here, it's an A major chord, but there's an F sharp on top. So I play an A major, but I have my pinky come down to hit that 7th fret, that F sharp on the B string, so I can play the melody, and then it's, and then you add the chords in there. So you have the A major backing it up. Then I shift it down because it goes to a G, but I still have my finger available here to hit the melody note. Now I got to go to a D chord, so I find a D chord up here, my closest one, which is the 7th fret barring on the D, G, and B strings. And then my melody note, which is A, I'm not going to reach back to that A. I'm going to do that A up here on the B string, the 10th fret. And then my little inversions, just making a, oh, that was a huge bug. Doing my inversions on D here. So first inversion was C sharp in the bass and then root position. So it's really a matter of finding different ways of playing the same chord all over the neck and making sure you have your melody note on top so it sounds like the song. Good practice to take simple songs that only have 3 or 4 chord progressions and the vocal melody is kind of basic, and start with trying to arrange those kind of pieces, and then you can work your way up into the jazz tunes where the chords are a little more complicated, the melody's all over the place. But I think this is a great song. It's definitely not easy to play, but hopefully it'll get you to where you're going.